for your daily dose of Big D energy.
Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Big D Energy.
Big D!
Right here in the Woodward Sports Network. He's back in effect. My name is Neal Ruhl. That guy over there is D-Mac, Darren McCarty. He is back. D-Mac, what's up, man?
Oh, lots of stuff, Neal. A bunch of stuff's been going around since we've been together last. But first off, I think it's most important, condolences to your family.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you.
On the loss of your mother-in-law. And, we've talked privately how important this lady and how cool she was and meant in your life. And you can relate to that. So I know, just want to let you know that thoughts and prayers are...
Thank you.
With your family and stuff like this, and the toughest times with the kids, your wife, and stuff like this. So
I appreciate that, brother, for real.
And everybody else. So first and foremost, and the rest that we're going to talk about. Where do you want to start? I thought and for everybody who's wondering why
it's teed up for the second hour. Stick
why
around
you
for the second hour.
Heard from me about what went on in the Ottawa game and the hit on Dylan Larkin and the suspension of David Perron. We're going to touch on that in the top of the second hour. So I've held my tongue, and I'll give you my opinion.
Absolutely. Jump into that woodwardsports.com chat thread as well. I appreciate the well wishes too. I know there were a lot of you that reached out on social media and stuff like that. So thank you all. Thank you all very much. I've talked about it in the past as well. One of the finest women I've ever known in my life. So rest in peace to her. And I won't be in Wednesday and Thursday. We'll be taking care of the viewing and the funeral and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be a tough couple days, no doubt about it. But I do appreciate y'all for sure. For real. I mean, we get heated about sports and stuff like that, man. But you guys are cool. You really are. So thank you all. And we're gonna get through it, man. And this will help me get through it. Doing this, being with D-Mac and Spenmo and BMG and even Brandon Katz will help me get through it. But I do appreciate y'all. But yeah, there is a multitude of ways that we could go at this today. We're going to talk to Chad Brown, former NFL great, multiple-time NFL All-Pro. He's out there in Denver. He's an analyst for network TV for the Denver Broncos. I figure this week's as good as any to catch back up with Chad Brown, so we'll talk with him. And D-Mac's got a couple of things lined up for him that we're going to ask, and we're going to get like the national perspective. And out of the gate for the first segment, I know Spencer busts his ass and comes up with the show sheet and stuff like that, but Spenmo, I'm calling an audible. We got to get to a psychological foundation.
It's okay.
And figure out where we all are at. Because I think a lot like humanity, like we're broke off into factions, right? Like there's a ton of factions. Humankind, differences in us, our appearances, our views, our thoughts, our religions, all of it. There's tons of different, but at a baseline, somewhere at the beginning, we're all aligned, and I'm going to drill down to that.
Okay.
I'm going to drill down to that today. So we are going to get into that. We didn't talk about this. I did want to touch on it real quick. Shohei Ohtani and the $700 million contract. Now, it came to light where he is taking a $2 million a year salary of said $700 million, and will get the rest at the end in deferred salary. $700 million for 10 years, D-Mac.
Straight cash, homie.
Yeah, 680 deferred, and I think you brought up a great point because you're the one who dives deep into the numbers and stuff like this. Something about if you do not have residence when you take your money, then you don't get California taxed on it, and people could argue as well. They don't have taxes in Florida or in Texas or stuff like this, but he's going to the Dodgers, and to me, there's two things that pop out. So you're telling me if there's a will, there's a way in baseball? If there's a will to get a guy to spend money or whatever, then you're telling me that you can find a way to do it. Dodgers just showed that. To me, I think it puts more of a spotlight here on Detroit and the Tigers.
You read my mind.
And it's like, okay, Chris, the Dodgers have showed you that they can, and now they got Betts, Freddie Freeman, and Ohtani as three of the top paid contracts in the league. All those guys. But what it shows me, Neal, is that if you want it, you can go get it. It doesn't matter what money is. You can find a way to defer it, refer it, confer it. Whatever fur you want to do it. And I know that maybe that's a simple way to look at it, but the question is, until you tell me why you can't, other than you won't, just tell me you won't. Right? Like, just tell me you won't.
Just tell me.
We can't swim in those waters, okay? Tell me that. Because you know what? Sure as heck, I think back to the old man, and Chris Ilitch isn't Mike Ilitch, but this would make me excited because that he'd be looking to open up a whole bunch more pizza places to be able to bring in baseball, bring in guys. I mean, he did it with his teams in the past. So, I mean, in baseball, where there's a will, there's a way. There's no salary cap, and you can drop. Like, we're talking close to $1 billion. That's 10 years.
And he's hurt. And he's probably not going to pitch next year. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what's incredible. Now he is, and Spencer was at the forefront. Spencer and I were at the forefront of this with Ohtani. Mm-hmm. He's arguably the greatest athlete we've ever seen in our lives.
Yep, he's up there.
Real talk. The most unique athlete we've ever seen in our lives. And I know that'll trigger some people, and you'll jump in there. WoodwardSports.com, chat thread, Dom Rivera. This just shows that we don't know what people are going through. Be kind, show love, not hate, unless it's for cats. Hate is allowed there. Nah, Dom, I mean, we can do it within the context of the show. But again, appreciate your thoughts and everything like that. Pete Smith, he's underpaid at $700 million. And D-Mac, he is. Because what the Dodgers have just done, and look, we talk about TV numbers and TV contracts and those things with how it all works. The Dodgers TV contract, their local TV contract, I'm going off the top of my head here, but I know this is about what it is. I believe that it's about 25 years, $7 billion. Jesus. That's their local TV contract to show games in Los Angeles. That's their deal. You know what happens when you sign Ohtani? You get to do that again, but in Japan. And I would imagine you're going to get something similar to show the games in Japan, your Dodger games in Japan. I'm guessing it would be something comparable, right? Wouldn't Tokyo and LA be kind of like comparable cities? And I would argue that there's more motivation to watch it in Tokyo than there is in LA. That's fair, right? Like, I'm not being crazy with that.
No, and I mean, you look at just geographically, it's right there. It makes all the sense in the world, and it makes all the sense in what the value was.
So you get to run that back if you're the Dodgers. 25 years, $7 billion. Just have your games on in Tokyo. Like, it is, man. Like, that's ownership. That's a conglomerate. And in the meantime, let me see. What do we get? Mark Hanna, right? Mm-hmm. That's what we got.
Yep.
And you know what this is going to do, and this is what really bothers me about the Tigers' lack of activity, is if you take Javi off their payroll is less than the Guardians, less than the Royals. You see what I'm saying here? And this division's here for the taking. I'm not saying go sign Ohtani. I'm not saying that.
Spend something.
Do something,
Get
man.
somebody.
And here's what's going to happen. And I'm not saying I'm everybody. I'm just saying this is how I think. We got Mark Hanna, right? Like, it's good, and he's a fine ball player. Mm-hmm. He's a good ball player. He's the kind of guy you win with. But when he rolls out, and I forget what his career average is. He takes walks and does those kind of things that win. If he doesn't roll out and hit 30 home runs, I'm going to be like, this was it?
Yeah.
And it's not fair to him. What are we going to do? When are we going to do? Like, I got the stick. Do something. Don't be irresponsible. Do something. It's there. This pen.
Sell me this pen.
Sell me this pen.
Yeah.
Well, here, Chris, write this down. You don't have a pen. Here, Chris, write this down. This division is for the taking. Make a couple moves, and we're there. We're there. What are we talking about here?
That's what you're waiting.
It's there for the take. I'm not saying go spend $250 million, but do something. All right.
There's a lot of room in the middle of doing nothing and
$250
million.
No, it is. So I thought, it's just for me, it's right there for the taking. But it does illustrate, as you brought up, D-Mac, there are two different games being played, and I don't know what the answer is. Do people like salary caps? Do you guys? Can we flash poll that for like
here's
2
the
minutes?
thing.
Do you like salary caps? Yes or no?
If you have,
You don't.
It should be simple as far as depend on your owner. You know, if
You
have
don't
a
like
Steve
salary
Cohen
caps.
or no, absolutely not. Right? You bring in the Hall of Fame team. If you got an owner that's going to spend, and then you got a GM that's smart, that's the combination, right? So, I mean, no, I mean you don't need, but I get it. I get why you need it, but that's why they have floors and ceilings and all that different stuff. So, I mean, it's a deterrent. So my question is, now what do the Yankees do? Now what do the Mets do? Who are the teams that spend money? The Texas Rangers, all these teams. Does this just push the teams that'll spend further away from you, right? You're going to leave, 6 teams are going to spend, and then you're going to leave 24, 26 at home, right? And it's just going to be the same mundane. So I guess the question is, it goes back to what I said before. Just tell me that you don't want to, not that you can't.
That's all I want
That's
to.
it.
Just tell me. Just tell me what the ground rules are. Tell me where the goalposts are.
Yeah, so that I know what to expect.
And then I'll react accordingly.
But especially in this division,
it's
if
there.
you wanted to start in any division, wouldn't you want to start in this division?
That's what I
Because it's
don't
there for
understand.
the taking. No, that's what I'm saying. Because then there's some positives there that if you want it, you can go get it, and you don't have to spend $700, right? Why don't you spend $100?
How
You
about
probably get the same result as winning your division.
How about this? How about you just replace the money that you were paying Miggy? Just replace the money. Is that a fair ask? Just get it to what it was last year. Again, like that's where it is for me. Real Cream of Wheat says, in Detroit, you ain't getting the big spending owners. That's not true. The Tigers were in the top 5 in payroll a decade ago. In the big TV market era, they were giving out $200 million contracts. I'm not even saying you have to do that. This division is there. Go take it. Go take it. That's all. Public service. And I didn't even mean for it to go this way. It just got there all by itself. And DMAC's the reason for that. Corey Berry says, BMG likes the cap, especially a red one with a sickle. So there's that out there. And speaking of that, Spenny, I'm glad you reminded me. We have our little text group here. Spenny sent a little entertaining Instagram reel about Michigan football, and they were talking about Michigan Stadium, and it was
Big house.
the big house.
Yeah.
And it took you through the big house through the years, and then there was a punchline at the end where it popped up J.J. McCarthy's game log, and it said, never forget, J.J. McCarthy had 1 passing touchdown the last 7 games of the year, or whatever it was. And I looked at that in a game log, and I had an epiphany. No, it didn't cost me 50 at Tiffany's. However, I did have an epiphany. And Big Mike Gentry, Spencer, who rallies against Army football.
Hates Army.
Hates Army.
I do not
hates what
hate
they
Army
represent.
football. Yeah.
Hates what they provide.
Has no respect for the
Has
Army.
no respect for the military
Unreal.
whatsoever. Looks at them as an inconvenience on his taxes.
Hides when we do the hometown hero.
Hides. Hates it. Big Mike Gentry, who says, no, Neal, I just choose not to participate in Army football. Like, you don't participate in crappy Thursday night games.
But yet he does.
But
Without
yet
even
he
knowing
does.
it.
Because the deal is
I
he
see
does
it.
like Army football. They're
Because-
just wearing Michigan helmets. They play Army football.
Is Army football the number 1 team in the country?
Hey, Spenny, can we pull up the Army quarterback stats in the last 7 games? Does he have more than 1 passing touchdown?
Did they beat 2 top 10 teams in the last 5 games?
We're talking about
what is
J.J.
this?
McCarthy, not the team, bud.
J.J. McCarthy's the quarterback on that team.
Yeah, we're talking about his play as a quarterback on that team.
They beat teams in their conference just the same way Michigan
And
did.
they still ended
So,
up like
there you
barely
go.
500.
Tell me he's got more than 1 passing touchdown, Spenny.
He
And
he had a passing touchdown in the last game, so that's 1.
That's 1 in the last game.
We should make
Against
them the
Coastal
top 4 team in the
Carolina?
country.
Against Coastal Carolina,
They're number
he did
1.
not have a touchdown.
They're number
Okay.
1.
But they
So-
won 28-21.
Neck and neck.
Against Holy Cross,
Oh,
Holy
he
crap.
did not have a
Juggernaut.
touchdown.
Danny G says, "Did you see that one passing touchdown, though? It was so efficient." Yes, it was. It was so efficient.
Wasn't it on like the first drive too? And you guys were giving me shit.
Air
It was like the
Force?
first drive of the game.
Sam Flannel, keep crying while Michigan is in the college football playoff. This has got nothing to do with that.
We're talking about
you were talking about
J.J.
Mike Gentry.
McCarthy
You were
and Mike Gentry.
And Mike Gentry, how he,
And
quote,
his hatred of Army.
I don't hatred.
And
I
we're
don't
just
have
trying to
hate
make
for
it
him.
that maybe the Army quarterback and his quarterback, you're
Are the
just drawing
same.
comparables.
That's all I'm doing. You watch Army football.
No, I
they
don't.
just have Michigan uniforms
I do
on.
not. I
It's
watch
the
the number
same
one
thing.
team in the country.
It's the exact same
He
thing.
team in
has
the
2
country.
touchdowns.
There you go.
In, let's see, how many games is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in the past 7 games.
There you go.
He has 2 passing touchdowns.
So there you have it.
248. Call Mike Gentry.
Yeah.
Do you want the Army quarterback in your national championship game? Now he can. No. Having fun. Why can't you have fun? He's just saving them all, Mike. He's going to
we're
have
having
6 against
fun.
Alabama. Let's go.
One funky Lions fan. I still see that Sam is broken. No one talking about Michigan football, yet here he is. And I've made no remarks about Michigan football.
We're not talking about Michigan football. We're talking about Mike's hatred of Army.
Yeah.
And the fact that his freedom he just doesn't appreciate.
Yeah, and yet he's a hypocrite.
To be
'Cause
fair,
he does watch Army
To
football.
be fair, I was rooting for Navy anyways
Of course you were.
because my dad was in the Navy. So
Absolutely.
Either way, but
And
I wasn't watching because
and
I
guess
don't watch
what?
bad football. Just
Navy's
like you
quarterback.
said multiple times, how you don't entertain dog shit Monday night, Thursday night games. I just choose not to entertain it.
But you do
decide-
entertain it.
I
Every
don't-
week,
I don't
they just
hate
have
Army.
wing helmets on.
Oh man, then maybe
Instead of
Army should be
dope-ass
the number one
Nike
team in the nation. Maybe
dog
they
face
should be.
soldier tribute.
Maybe they
You know
should
how
be.
I saw
Hey,
this?
let's
'Cause
put
it doesn't
Army
matter
in the
if you went
college
to
football
Army,
playoff.
Navy, Michigan,
Put 'em in
whatever.
there.
You can all go to Lady
Put 'em in
Jane's
there.
for an award-winning haircut experience. You can register to win a trip of your dreams. All expenses paid. Sweet to the 2024 NCAA basketball tournament. That's right, no expense spared for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's haircuts for men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
What about Fairway?
Fairway Packing Company, everybody, the finest meats in all the land. The restaurant you went to probably got their steak. That nice steak dinner you had last weekend probably came from Fairway Packing Company. Hotels, casinos, the best restaurants, they get their prime beef, their dry-aged beef, their Wagyu beef from Fairway Packing. Visit the Grab and Go Steak Shop in Grosse Pointe Farms. It'll change your grilling life, everybody. I can confirm. Greatest rib I ever had in my life from Fairway Packing Company. Fairwaypacking.com. Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Feeling the financial pinch? Mark White & Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, $5,000. Call Mark White & Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesells.com. Again, call Mark White today at 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
Oh, man, back at it. We're off and running. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. You all never disappoint. Neal
Chess and
Ruhl,
checkers.
D-Mac, Big Mike Gentry, the Army football fan, disguised, obviously, in Michigan uniforms, but he loves that style of football. He lives for it. Spencer Raxter here as well. And Spencer was the one that uncovered it all.
It's true.
You were the undercover cop.
I had to do it.
Absolutely. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Big D Energy podcast, too, if you would be so kind. 5-star while you're in there.
5-star.
5-star. 5-star. Cliff in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Can I feel free to take a tone when I read them or no?
Please do.
Okay.
Please.
JJ is not an ego-motivated quarterback and will do what it takes to win, regardless if the numbers are his or not.
That's the softest shit I've ever heard.
Sam Flannel. Army's quarterback's thrown for 7 touchdowns, 11 interceptions on the season. I win, you lose. Do I Flannel?
The fact that you even got him to look up the stats and is arguing that.
You know what?
He's so... Oh, my God.
You talk about tone, D-Mac.
Oh, my God.
I felt the tone. I know the tone in the back room.
I can feel it.
Yeah, emanating.
Yes.
It's like the Vatican when they send up the smoke. I feel it right now.
What's the over JJ 3 air touchdowns against Alabama?
People in the chat saying
them.
four touchdowns for JJ McCarthy passing. With John effing Lord, LOL, Flannel's having a fit right now. Spenny, you think he's punching the air?
Oh, for sure.
Like just...
Definitely. He's back there like this. Or like this.
Let's go live to the back room. Oh, man. It is funny. David Witt, Sam has ruined the morning show for me too. Oh, come on, guys. That is not true. Keep crying while Michigan plays in the college football playoff. They'll be there for about 32 minutes. They'll be there. Right, Gentry?
You'll have to wait and see, Neal.
You guys are pot committed here,
Just
aren't
remember, you got to wear the Michigan gear.
I will, and I will.
And I'll get the double-double from over there.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you sense that they're getting uncomfortable with the stakes?
Yeah.
I do too.
Gentry's cracking under pressure.
The only thing that I would take D-Mac, do you get that
Such
vibe
a
though?
troll.
Do you get that vibe? You see how on edge they are?
Oh, yeah.
We're like 3 weeks. We're not even to Christmas yet.
No,
I don't know. If you're speaking for me, I literally have not said anything about it.
But your tone, your vibe,
Why? We haven't
the
even
look on
talked
your
about
face.
Flannel's falling apart in the chat.
Flannel's losing his marbles in the back. We made the playoff. You just disrespect the team. Dude, no, settle down, bud. You got a big game coming up.
Hey.
Save your energy. You're going to need it all.
Flannel.
For that Alabama game.
As I said, you're Big Ten good. You're a fine regional football program.
Can I ask how long ago that the conversation was, national championship or bust, where a lot of people, I'm one of the ones that says you just got to win that first playoff game that you haven't got to done. And then I would view it more as a success and stepping stone. And you're like, no,
it's all
which is
in.
good. It's not, no,
Yeah.
but in the conversation, we're talking like Michigan is supposed to be the San Francisco or the Philadelphia, whoever you think is the top dog in the NFL, right? So San Francisco, right? That's what Michigan's supposed to be. But then act like that. You don't act like that. You act scared. When you got to defend yourself and whatever. Like the whole, what the comment is to your comment about the Alabama is like, well, yeah, you know what? Hopefully, like if I'm like, yeah, he's saving them all. He's saving them all, but he got us there. We're there.
And it's funny.
I mean, it's like act like you've been there before.
If you would say
haven't.
this to somebody else, like, Jaden Daniels is Army's quarterback, Jalen Milroe is Army's quarterback, they'd laugh it off. They'd shrug it off. But Michigan fans get really upset about it.
They get triggered.
There must be some truth in there.
Well, or there's this.
Here's the thing, right? Like for right. Remember what happened last year in the same position, but going and playing TCU. Everybody had you walking. You were looking beyond that game. They thought you were going to own that game. All the fans, you were overconfident, right? So it's coming into it, and you got it served. So this is the best thing for you. This shuts everybody up. Go out, win, and play. And just hope that J.J. McCarthy, at the end of the day, that we're eating crow because all he has to do is throw two.
He's got to throw 2 more. Yeah, 2, and then he'll be higher than Army in the past 7 weeks.
That's
and
right.
if you trust him, because what this tells me is that at the end of the day, when you put your head on your pillow, you don't trust him. As a diehard Michigan fan.
And I didn't mean for this to get to this, but Sam Flannel says, why the F would I be punching the air? My team literally in the college football playoff and can play for a national championship. But they haven't yet.
Booner in the Woodward Sports chat says Spenny can't talk college football playoff or college football after November since his team isn't playing. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Let me know when Saginaw Valley plays. Let me know when Saginaw Valley State plays.
Hey,
you could talk about that then.
Jerry Kill, who's head coach at Saginaw Valley, won 10 games at New Mexico State this year, by the way.
I don't know who that is. That's his team, though.
Also, Jeff, Tommy DeVito is last year at Illinois, 15 tutties, 4 picks, 2,600 yards. J.J. McCarthy this year, 19 tutties, 4 picks, 2,600 yards. Oh!
Tommy Cutlets!
He was electric last night, dude.
Yeah, he was.
The videos of his family in the tailgate with the cutlets and the veal parmesan, dude.
They had so much. Hell of a tailgate.
The cigars, all of it, man. It was fun. You know what? Real quick, I do have to, and I was critical of it, but last night, goddamn you NFL. And I wasn't even, because I was doing the end of the Pistons game.
Wasn't even on your radar.
Wasn't on my radar.
So what happened?
All right, I tuned into the Pistons game. I watched the end of the Pistons game. I turned on the Red Wings game.
Why? Oh, because I
got to stay in the loop.
I
never
forgot
know.
you work for him.
Yeah. Turned on the end of the Red Wings game. Watched the horses get out of the barn there. And then I was like, well, I got to check in on Green Bay. I had some fantasy implications with the Miami game. Coming down to winning a week. There's a nice payout for that.
You know that Seth Rollins and CM Punk were going face to face at this point last night too, right?
I must have missed that one. Which
I
was watching it. I was watching my son's fantasy team more than he was. But anyway, and I flipped it on, and then the Giants had the lead. So I was like, all right, Tommy DeVito, let's go. Because it was a free roll to root for Tommy and his family and all that stuff, because it does the Lions well if the Packers lose. And by the way, all the Lions fans yesterday that were telling me about Green Bay and Green Bay's a threat to win this division and how easy Green Bay's schedule was. How'd that go last night? How was Jordan Love, the resurrection? Jordan Love is back from the dead. He's rebooted, reincarnated. I checked that stat line at the end of the game. A pick, 220 yards. I saw it again. Losing to the Giants as a touchdown favorite. I saw it all before. I love the way people just thought a 6-6 football team was going to rip off 6 wins in a row.
Well, it goes to show you, like, the NFL is undefeated as far as, you look at, and I sat here, it was like the belief C.J. Stroud and Jordan Love, and I still think they're better than what I originally gave them credit for, but the NFL will come up and bite you. There's
December's
weeks out there.
different,
It's a
man.
tough 17-week schedule. So when you understand that every team and players go through ebbs and flows, and we're in the middle of one now for our team, right? But goes across. But, shout out to the way to go, Maz's Giants. They did us a favor. Thank you.
Absolutely. Nick Lucido, our resident New York insider, who was actually out at the Greg Campy show, radio show last night that I was out. He said, cutlets on me. So he said cutlets for everybody.
I love it.
So there's that as well. No, I do want to get – this ties nicely, though, into the Lions psychology. And Green Bay last night is my case study. And we're going to get into it. And you can watch a Lions game this weekend at Hamlin Pub if you want to. Why not? 7 locations in and around the Metro Detroit area. It's the pub where everybody is a regular. Whether you're having half-off pizza on a Thursday, even if there's crappy Thursday night football on that Mike Gentry doesn't participate in, he will jump in his car and drive to Hamlin Pub because he's free to do so because of his military efforts that he doesn't acknowledge. But whatever, you can acknowledge the game day specials. Thursday night football, all the Michigan sports as well. Those game day specials are available to you. Go to HamlinPubs.com, find out which one of the 7 Metro Detroit locations work best for you. We have all of our fantasy drafts there. I love Hamlin Pub. Hard stop. I love Hamlin Pub. It's a great spot to watch the game.
What about Jack Labrador?
Oh, Jack Labrador. That is right. I don't have the sheet with me right now, but I will say this. We're getting out of fall where you would go outside and everything like that. Settle in, everybody. You walk outside this morning, freezing cold. We're not going to see the sun again until April. You're going to be begging for a new card game. The folks at Jack Labrador have done it for you. Some of you reached out yesterday. You gave it a spin after we talked about it, and they're on board here at Woodward Sports. Think rock, paper, scissors, but with a twist. That is Jack Labrador. So scan that QR code on your screen. Get involved. You're going to be begging for new card games, everybody. It's Jack Labrador.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Here for Feldman Automotive Group. The 18 locations in and around the Metro Detroit area guarantees that there is one close to you. The buying process at Feldman Chevrolet, called the Feldman Advantage. It's refined. It's been around since 1996. It's so easy Sam Flannel could buy a car from Feldman because he did that. And speaking of that, we're live at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer, every other Monday. They're the GOATs, man. They're the best in the car game today. Feldman Automotive, 18 locations around the Metro Detroit area. You want to get a car, that's your play. And don't forget the linchpin of it all, Feldman Chevrolet in Novi. Keeping it pushing, everybody. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, D-Mac is back in the house. Big Mike Gentry, Spencer Baxter as well. Happy to have you all with us. And, you know, again, just kind of chopping up. But I did want to drill down on this, D-Mac, because what happened, I did take a vested interest in what happened in the Green Bay game yesterday because it proved my hypothesis true. It was an irrational thought from Lions fans. That was the root of this, D-Mac, was Lions fans and their thought about their fear of the Green Bay Packers running them down for the division. And we're going to drill down to that right now. Because a 6-6 football team with, in essence, a rookie quarterback who's had moments where he's played well when you were watching, but those moments you don't watch has had moments where he doesn't play well. And yesterday, they didn't get it done. You can say what you want. You can say, oh, he took him down the field, all that kind of stuff. Cool. They didn't win because Tommy Cutlets was over there on the other side. But I digress. The notion that the Packers, it was just assumed that they were going to run the table and win 8 straight games and run the Lions down. It's foolishness. It's malfeasance on Lions fans' part. And D-Mac, it got me to thinking, and after that hypothesis checked out, I want to do this. I want to drill down, D-Mac. I want to drill down because we're broken off into factions now as Lions fans. I labeled some of them as, quote, T-Grizzlies because they're preying on their downfall. And, D-Mac, when we go back to a baseline, I believe this about people. No matter where you're from, no matter what religion you are, no matter what your environment is, at a baseline, what do you want? You want food? You want shelter, right? At a baseline. We all want that, right? I would assume.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're all together in that respect. I believe that food and shelter is the Lions being good. I think we all want that. Right or no?
Okay, but the Lions are good.
Okay. Check. So we're there with that. Where are we losing people, D-Mac? Where?
Because it's not easy. And
but D-Mac, and
because it's not Neal. Somebody said this to me yesterday, and it's probably been said, but first time I heard it. It's not the same old Lions, but it's the same old Lions fans, right? And because we haven't learned that it's different waters to swim in, you just got and it's. I mean, the Red Wings are in a lot of the same position. The team is better, but it's the expectations because we want it, because we haven't had it, and because of what we expected. our expectations might have been a little bit off, right, to what this team really is. But every team goes through what the Lions are going through now. It's how do you at adversity, and that's why I said at the beginning of the year, and it holds true to the Red Wings also, is why you got to win the games. Like, you got to bank wins. So right now, right, you're sitting at 9-4, and like, why does it feel like the sun's falling down? Right? The world's ending as a Lions fan, right? Like, everybody's in panic mode. Just relax. It's all part of the process, right? It's not easy. And you got to work for it. And it is the NFL, right? One score league, this, that, and the other thing. We're talking about young guys we thought, made that transition, and boom, the NFL hits them last night. Young quarterback. We're talking about a young quarterback who finds a way to get it done. It's the NFL, Neal. At the end of the day, what you got to look at is this team still an 11 and a 12 win team? Where are we at? Where's the conversation from beginning of the year when you're breaking down what's this team's record, right? Most of us had them at 11-6, maybe 12-5.
Yeah,
at
maybe
the
there's
high
some
mark.
13s out there. Yeah,
they're right on track. So yes, they got things to improve on and to clean up, but I think that what hurt us was all the talk about first seed, second seed, home. You're not there yet. There's a difference between where you're at, but you've made that stride into a playoff team and expectations. Kat said something that is poignant. It's not about winning the North. It's about winning that playoff game, that home playoff game, because you've done things. So they're back to the drawing board. Tough game this week to a Denver team. Got to flex to Saturday night, right? So, it's all part of making that next step, right? You got to walk before you run, and this is part of them walking.
And D-Mac, when you brought that up, because it's not easy, I lived that when I was a kid with your Red Wings teams. I told you, I confided in you. You and I worked together for over a decade, and I said, D-Mac, I'm going to be honest with you, man.
Never thought we'd get there.
After that New Jersey series broke me.
90% of you, if you were honest, had that disbelief also until we proved that we could. Right?
No, and that's because it's not easy. And see, here's the deal. And at first I had this hypothesis, and I'm ready to deal with it, and I'm just going to move it on. At first I had this hypothesis, right? So, like, we're all Lions fans. Then we break off into factions of Michigan fans and Michigan State fans. And then I thought at first, I was like, because you're right, D-Mac, because it's not easy, and it's never going to be easy. And I thought, well, maybe it's like the Michigan fan angle because you get to play Illinois every week and you're always a 24-point favorite. And then you play Iowa in the Big Ten championship game and you're a 22-point favorite. And it's easy, right? And I thought maybe that's what it was because you're used to it being easy all the time. Until it's not. But then I got to thinking about that and I'm like, well, maybe that's right to some degree. But then I go to Spencer where Michigan State fans I've always felt bad for Michigan State fans in this respect. You guys have had your moments. You've had a decade where you were good. Make no mistake about it. You had a decade run where you were good. I've always felt bad, though, because I always felt like Michigan State fans are Lions fans twice a weekend. Because in the end, the chair gets pulled out from under you. It does, as State fans. And then as Lions fans, too. So then I thought, well...
We didn't even have the chair under us against Bama.
That is true. They told you to sit down, and you just fell right on the ground.
Nothing there.
Yeah, I know. But maybe that's true to some degree for some of them as well. But D-Mac, is that it? Because they thought it was going to be easy. And the Lions made it look easy for a good stretch. Like, double-digit road wins, the way they were stacking those things up, those aren't real. They're not real. Double-digit road wins, like back to back to back. That's not real, D-Mac.
No, not in this league. But we thought that's where you get comfortable. We thought it was easy. Then did anybody after go through the last game, right? We're the beginning and we're all like this and that. And you could be like Maz, we're 10-0, the sky's falling again and stuff like this. But you realize you have the ball back and you talk it through. We're going to take the lead. Did anybody think that we were going to come out and have that second half offensively Wasn't it all about, okay, can we stop Fields again? We got a little bit of pressure on him. You know, we missed a bunch of tackles. Hopefully we can contain them. But the offense, you're not worried about them going out. You rushed 107 yards in the first half. You get 7 yards a carry.
You were back on brand.
You're on brand. Offensively, you're like
and
rolling, and then all of a sudden, what happens?
They flipped it at halftime.
Then
getting
what
the ball. Came out flat and it fell apart.
Not just flat. 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. Fumble, pick, this and that. The wheels fell off, right? You didn't expect it. As a team, that things like that happen, but how are you going to bounce back? And now you have to know that could happen, because sometimes what happens is when things sort of go good and you can rest on your laurels a little bit. And I just thought that maybe Ben Johnson and his game plan, he got a little bit bigger than his britches, right? Instead of staying to basics. But that's learning experience too.
But he doesn't all of a sudden stink.
We all feel ourselves. He's feeling the road record. He's feeling the hell we're going to come in here and blow him out. And then it didn't go as planned. So you know what? Sometimes you got to lick your wounds and come back and see what you did, properly. That's why you always want to have to approve a game coming, back home. So it's the NFL, Neal. At the end of the day, after 13 games, you're 9-4. Anybody not taking that if I gave it to you preseason?
But the point of the story is this. Like, you look around the league and what's going on. You can pick apart anybody's record. Anybody's record.
The best team in the league. Right? Is anybody going to argue that it's San Francisco?
Right now,
and
yes.
You look at, right? And you look
And remember, D-Mac, they were the best team in the league? Because I remember we came in here on a Monday and we're like, God damn, like, Deebo Samuel's physical as a receiver. Remember those conversations? And we're like, wow. And what happened to him? The next 3 weeks, what happened? Lost every game.
Absolutely. And
lost every game.
And then Purdy wasn't the answer, and this and that. And every team goes through it, but how do they bounce back? And now where are they? Boom, boom, boom. 3 weeks after that, 2 weeks after that, it's the bell of the ball again.
It's just
Philly's going through it now, right? We're waiting for the shoe to drop on Dallas. They're going to go through it. They're going to lose one of these games down the stretch where the Cowboy Nation's, sky's falling also.
Right. But 100% right. So, I mean, it is. You can pick apart anybody's schedule that you want to, because there's enough mid-teams in this league. Because that's the talking point I hear around town. Everybody goes back through the Lions' schedule, then do everybody like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, again, who's better, the Bears or the Cardinals? Bears are better than the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Right?
Now that they got rid of Josh Dobbs. The Cardinals still had Josh Dobbs. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, the Bears are better.
The Bears are better than the Cardinals. You know what I'm saying? Like, my point is you can play this game all day long. Old Jarhead. So Neal just admitted the Lions pulled a chair on us. No, the old Lions regime would pull the chair on you. Here's what everybody's lost sight of, D-Mac. To me, this is my opinion. You can do what you want with it. And I saw Nicholas Duncan. If Goff fails us, Brad doesn't make moves again, I'm not buying in next season. I'm rooting for the 49ers.
Yeah.
Nicholas.
Don't do that.
Well, Spenny, you jumped ship.
I didn't jump ship.
Yes, you did.
I did not jump
You
ship.
said they can't win.
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did. You said with Jared Goff, you can't win. You said that.
I did not say that. I said if they play like they have the past 5 or 6 weeks, they won't win in the playoffs.
Well, yeah. I mean, way to go.
You're not going to win a Super Bowl with Jared Goff. I'll say that. You can win regular season games. They'll still win the division. What?
So you're out.
I'm not out. What?
You're out on the Lions then.
No, I'm not.
It's never going to happen.
Not with Jared Goff. They will not win a Super Bowl with Jared Goff.
So you're out then.
No, I'm not out because they're not keeping Jared.
So
Goff
you're out.
perpetuity.
You're out until Jared Goff is gone.
I do not think they will win a Super Bowl with Jared Goff. No.
Will they win playoff games with him?
Possibly. Yeah.
Okay, that's all I wanted to hear. But the moral of the story is this. And like I know that we're late for the break. We can pick this discussion up actually. Tell them about Premier Pet Supply.
Premier
Goated.
Pet Supply. Give me Premier
if
Pet
you have
Supply.
goats, goated if you have goats.
If you have goats, if you got hamsters, if you got flannel, go to Premier Pet Supply and give your pet the best. When it comes to your pet, don't settle. Give your pet the best. Premier Pet Supply is hands down Michigan's best pet store. Family owned and operated for over 30 years. 13 Metro Detroit locations. Over 60 brands of food, lowest prices, and curbside home delivery. Premier Pet Supply. Give your pet the best. www.premierpetsupply.com.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Boner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Boner and Broder.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Just in time for football, Glorious Cannabis is dropping a new ice water bubble hash-infused pre-roll called Honolulu Blue. It smells so good. It's like the whiff of the first playoff win in 31 years. The gassy, aggressive strain named in honor of Detroit football. If you haven't had one of these ice water pre-rolls, you're missing out. Spenny tells me they're so smooth. Find them at Dispo Dispensary for 25% off. Code Woodward Glorious, or go to www.gloriouscanna2ns.com.
To get fuck! I hate you guys today. You guys are the worst fans in fucking sports right now. Jameson Williams bots should be exterminated from the planet at this point.
What?
Go now!
All right, let's go to break. I got my notes. I got everything I need. All right, let's go to break here.
Oh my God.
When we come back.
And somebody bring some cherry rice. I'm gonna have an aneurysm on the air.
I just wanted to think. I just want to take some notes about that. So you need. So we come to the conclusion you need a lot of targets to get 1,000 yards. Just a yes or no? All right, that'd be a yes. All right, we'll go to break. We come back. We'll talk about Jahmyr Gibbs. But before we do that, I got to hear about our friends from Swiss Insurance.
Swiss Insurance.
They probably get a ton of targets over at
They
Swiss
probably
Insurance.
do a lot of targets. Do you have football on the brain? Of course you do. Yes. Do you have football on the brain? Of course you do. Swiss Insurance Group. It's been a great, awesome year of football, and I am probably going to have a heart attack on air today, and that is all well and good. Call Swiss at 248. I forgot the phone number. Mark at SwissINS.com. Peace.
Let me tell you about our friends over at
Oh, Sam Flannel, back at it here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, and D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Big Mike Gentry, Spencer Raxter, all of you in the WoodwardSports.com chat, thread, and just some reaction. We're trying to drill down and see what the issue is, because people like Sam Flannel that are jumping ship. Spencer Raxter said he didn't. He intimated that he did.
I mean, what is jumping ship? Because I know.
Yeah, Neal, to be clear, you don't have to have the Lions win the Super Bowl to be considered jumping ship.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
But like
Neal, I know you're a Sith Lord, so you only deal in absolutes. So what is your definition of jumping ship? And I'll tell you if I jump ship or not.
Can you win in this league with a quote trash quarterback?
Can you win what?
Can you win
games?
Can you win in this league? Can you win a playoff game with a trash quarterback?
Yes.
Okay. So you can.
Yes, you can.
So you can have playoff success then.
You can win a playoff game, yes.
Which is playoff success, right? Winning a game, especially.
Good. So that's good. That's all we need. That's all we want.
Well, we got to have it at some point. Like at some point, you haven't won one in 30 years.
Yeah, but that's all we want is just to win a playoff game.
And then I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. But yeah, I got to get one before I can get two.
It's fair. Yes, you can win a playoff game with golf. Yes, they'll.
But
probably
is the worry that the
win a playoff
person
game with
that
golf
wins
this
you
year.
that playoff game gets the keys to the Like, where are we at? Like, is it?
See, I didn't want it to be this. I knew it was going to get to this.
But that's where it is. It's like, can Goff win you a Super Bowl?
No.
So it's the fact that. But here's the thing: if he wins the playoff game, they'll give him the keys to win the Super Bowl, right? Or we agree with that? Like, as far as contract.
I hope not.
I mean, you would expect.
But
it.
I gave the path for that. See, and this is where like cat spot on here. And I hope I can catch this one because I know it was a lot of messages ago. But Catspot brought up the point: the people who can't defend Goff or argue he's worth $50 million a year. Catspot, when did I say that? Please tell me when.
You never did.
Please bring that up to me because I believe I gave you the path to get him for $40 million a year over the next 3 years. I believe I gave that to you. I did. Mm-hmm. That's true. You sat here. You heard it. So, stop with that. Stop. Because I gave you the path, Catspot, and it's there, and it's real. They're just making dumb, overgeneral statements like winning is hard. Spenny, is winning hard in this league?
Yes.
Is winning in December hard?
You know what? You know why you can make those comments? Because you guys act like it isn't. So I got to kindergarten it down for you to remind you that, winning in this league, no matter who you are at the professional level, these are professionals. It's not your video game. It's not your fantasy team, right? I mean, that's crazy. So sometimes it needs to be kindergarten down to remember it's hard to win in this league or any league.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. You got to remember where you're at right now. Like I keep hearing that, right? Like same old Lions fan and being having trauma and all that kind of stuff. Again, through all of this, through the Goff thing. And Spenny, I'll meet you halfway across the sky.
Meet me halfway.
Make this a new beginning for you and I. All right? So here's the deal. I have implicit trust in. Here's where it boils down to for me. Okay? I can get with you, Spenny. We'll work through this one by one. I can get with you when you say, I wish they would have done something, because I keep hearing this whole defensive line thing, the Chase Young thing and the Montez Sweat thing. And I can get with you and say, okay, should they have done something? And that's fine. I can say, okay, Spenny, I'll give you that. If you give me, and you say, you're acting like all things are equal and that was available. And I have to say, okay, because I don't know, just like you don't know.
Yeah.
But all I'm asking for you to do is to give in to me a little bit and say, maybe they weren't interested in Montez Sweat at $100 million. Just maybe.
Yeah.
Just maybe. And that's fair.
That is fair.
And maybe, as I said, Chase Young, and I don't know this to be true, I'm spitballing, but even you admitted it was a pretty compelling case that Chase Young was never available to them. And I'll bounce that back off of DMAC. Here's where I'll come to DMAC. I don't know DMAC. Through your time in professional sports, did you ever encounter / hear about / be a part of a situation where all things weren't available to all parties? Does that happen in professional sports?
Here's how it works in professional sports, right? When somebody picks up the phone, there's usually 2 or 3 first calls to go to, and that's usually what organization or your past relationships, maybe a mentor, maybe somebody.
Who's your peoples?
Your peoples. You're going to make those calls first to see what it
happens.
Is. When your peoples, right, aren't whatever, like that's why we've seen it throughout history. You think that sometime they're running, one of those bullet trains they got in Japan from one city to the next. You know how many times you see guys get traded and change locker rooms? You fly in with the visiting team and you're dressing for the home team the next night. It happens, but there's people you have these calls, and then you open it up.
Right, and so Spenmo, you say, all right, and I'm not saying that's absolute because I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just a guess.
Yeah.
It's just as reliable as what you say.
Yes.
Fair. Catspot, Detroit never made an offer. Catspot, you can't say that, dude. You don't know. Was he ever available? Just you saying they never made an offer is the exact same way that I say, look where Martin Mayhew came from, who facilitated the deal, and who he got fired by. At a baseline, who would you believe more? Would you believe, quote, they never made an offer from Brandon Katz, or do I make a compelling enough case to say, I could see that?
Probably that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm not pounding the gavel saying I win. No, I'm not saying flannel. I win, you lose. No, I'm not saying that. That's my point about it, though. But the moral of it all is this. I win, you lose. I trust Brad Holmes implicitly. And here's what I'll give to you, Spenny, all right? The man that I trust implicitly, while it's not what I would have done, and if I had a gripe about it, and I told you guys, instead of taking Hendon Hooker, who wasn't going to play, my way to help this team was to go get Jake Moody. That's what I stood on business on that.
Yes, you did.
Now, that being said, you said, and you've made this point before, and I had to stop and think about it. You said you trust Brad Holmes, right? I do implicitly. Implicitly. And maybe my Lions trauma is different in that I've been so starved for somebody who wasn't, Martin Mayhew or Matt Millen or go down the line that I believe what he did because he's had success. So if he did take Hendon Hooker, and maybe that's going to be a look at it, maybe I'm closer than I think about my little Jared Goff thought process there.
Welcome to the dogs.
No. I'm not saying he's trash and get him out of here. I'm not saying that. What I am saying though is my path to give you Jared Goff for between 40 and 45 million that you yourself signed off on.
Yeah.
You did. But I liked it because of the way that it set me free to where I'm never tied to him. I'm never committed long term to him. I'm not. And the stakes of the game have changed now. I don't dispute that. Market share has changed. It's not that I don't believe in Jared Goff. The situation is different now.
I don't believe in Jared Goff.
The leverage is different now.
But do you believe in Brad? Neal nailed it, right? When all else fails and the storm's
I trust
going
that
on,
man
do you trust
implicitly.
Do you trust in the family structure?
I do.
Do you trust? We all go through this in life. Look at your family. There's been trauma. Or whatever, Neal, you're going through a family trauma right now. Family structure, we were talking to it before. The Italians are built different, right?
Yes.
But it's the fact that it all comes together, right? So you have to trust in the matriarch or the leadership or whatever else. Whether I believe in Jared Goff or all this or whatever else, the fact that I trust that Brad Holmes is going to make the right decision no matter what position it is for the betterment of this football team. Because why? Because that's what he's done since he's been here.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. I tell everybody, like with the Red Wings, whenever I get to a point where it's like, what the? I laugh, shut it off, and go, Stevie's got it. And then walk away. So if I'm going to trust, and if you're going to, and maybe that's the problem, Neal, because when I say something and am committed to it, that's it. Sometimes people are wishy-washy, not only just in life, but in their sports fandom. So and this really tests it. You nailed it at the beginning. People don't forget, this makes you got to understand. You fessed to the fact that you didn't believe the Detroit Red Wings would ever get over that hill. And being the biggest Sergei Fedorov simp to whatever else, you bought into the fact that this team probably is too soft, or the league's against them, or it's never gonna be right. You admit that. That the fact is that that's okay because we took care of it, and the leadership and whatever like that from Scotty Bowman on down, that's what the trust was in. It's the same sort of thing. Now the credentials aren't there, but you have to trust the process.
What were you going to say, Spenny?
I was just going to say I do trust Brad Holmes. I believe in Brad Holmes, and I think he'll make the right decision. If he does re-sign Goff to a long contract, that will hurt my trust in him.
So that singular move will throw everything else away.
Yes.
See, I'm past that.
Though. To me, that's not trust. To me, that's I'm gonna love you, but and it's not. But you're gonna make a decision. I mean, it's. Do you trust that person making that decision that that's the best thing for the organization? You don't have to like it, but you got to accept it.
I know we're late for the break here, but I do have to address this one. Cat spot. I know you're trained as a lawyer, so you should understand this. Goff is not taking 30% less than Jalen Hurts. He doesn't have a choice. You see, Spenny, you see what I'm saying here? He doesn't have a choice. He doesn't. That's it. That's all. And it's hardline stuff, right?
Yeah.
In my scenario, he doesn't. Then don't play. Then don't play and don't get paid and kick away one of your years in your 30s at making an average of a top 5 salary in the league. Who's going to say no to that? He's not. He's not. And maybe that was the genesis of the Hendon Hooker pick.
I hope so.
Maybe it was a leverage move. Who knows?
I don't want a quarterback who can't throw a spiral.
Spanny.
It's true.
Spanny.
Am I wrong?
Spanny. You're wrong if you're not working out at Planet Fitness, but Spenny is, so I know he's right about that. We're live
today
at the Planet Fitness studios. I was there no more than an hour and a half ago.
Took a week off for the tat, going back today.
All right, there he is. He's back at it. I've been at it, and you should be at it too. $1 down, $10 a month, access to your home club. You want to be a baller, a shot caller? The Black Card, $24.99 a month. You get access to over 2,400 Planet Fitnesses, the tanning beds, all of it. Every single perk they have to offer, you get with the Planet Fitness Black Card. 50 locations, over 50 in Metro Detroit alone. All you do is you scan your code when you walk in the door, and that is your Planet Fitness that you go to every time that you want to. Again, some of you, I saw it. $100 a month for a gym. Rack sent me something on social media. Dude was paying $159 a month for a gym.
Jesus.
Have fun. Have fun, everybody. Planet Fitness got everything you need. Army of treadmills, army of cardio equipment, weights as well. Go to planetfitness.com or pull in the parking lot. You can join there. It's Planet Fitness, Darren McCarty.
Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Yeah.
Savor the heart of home at Big Boy with our all-new down-home comfort dishes. Feast on home-style goodness with our Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl, veal parmigiana, and apple pie hotcakes. The down-home delight doesn't stop there. Potato pancakes are back. Dive into the richness of our perfectly crafted potatoes with our classic potato pancakes and our stuffed potato pancakes. Top off your meal with our new gingerbread shake, a seamless blend of creamy vanilla and sweet gingerbread flavors. Nothing beats the comforting taste of down-home cooking. Enjoy every bite, only at Big Boy.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Let's talk about Outdoor Co, official equipment provider of Woodward Sports. Michigan grown, family owned, Bad Boy Motors, tractor, steel, handhelds, even weed whippers, Liberty trailers, Generac generators. The weather, it is gonna get snowy, so make sure you get your Snow X plows and salters. Outdoor Equipment Co has it all. You can buy it, rent it, 0% financing. They'll even deliver it to your doorstep. Contact them today, OutdoorEquipCo.com.
Oh, yes, friends. It is time for people to get put in a coffin. It is time for rest in peace. Anywhere around the sports world. Started off as just football. We've gotten to the point, though, it is anywhere around the sports world. Get in. Who you hating on? Who you putting in the casket? We got any volunteers?
I'll go first.
Oh, D-Mac. Conviction.
I am I'm bearing on the Patriots and the Raiders in a 3-0 game of the weekend in today's 2023 offensive built NFL. The fans, and this is just handing out flowers to the fact that the most pathetic football game in history. I had to keep flipping back and forth to it to see how does it stay 0-0? Like, how
I saw that.
Does it stay 0-0? Like, I'm putting it in the coffin because it's never going to happen again. I don't think you'll ever see
the 3-0 football game is in the coffin.
In 2023, the way that the game is officiated, and it's all about points. I've never seen. I got to put that game away as it's almost we got to go back and watch it because how does that happen? That game was 1930s. Like I've never.
And it
like,
was in a
did
dome.
you guys? I was caught. You talk about train wreck. I got caught like you did yesterday, watching more of that game than I ever should have. Back and forth. Just when you think somebody go down or they're gonna kick a field goal or whatever. Nope. Something else up. So that I'm putting that into the coffin. I'm burying it because you'll never see another game in the NFL.
I like that was outside the box. He buried a 3-0 football game.
Oh my God!
It's fair.
And all the so that goes to mourning to anybody who had fantasy players.
TJ Hawkinson still got me like 10 points, I think.
He buried a 3-0 football game that you're never going to...
I had to.
I was heartbroken that didn't go to overtime at 0-0.
I
had the tweet loaded. I had it loaded. 0-0 in Vegas, going to extra time.
It's 2023. Sorry.
Can I go next?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not going to take the low-hanging fruit here. We might take it in the RIP Part 2 segment about RIP to Jared Goff's bag with the Lions. I am going to take RIP to Tom Mazaway, the baseball fan.
Explain.
He's been crying about, they just buy teams now. It's
Yankees fan. Tom Mazaway.
Who created
Who made this?
Who originated
How many years, Neal,
team.
did the New York Yankees dominate the market in buying players?
Forever.
Like 30, 40? And now the Mets jump in, the Texas Rangers jump in, Dodgers jump in, and now poor Tommy don't like it.
Yeah, Maz doesn't like it because the Yankees could only get Juan Soto to go with Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton, and they couldn't get Shohei too. So RIP to Maz as a baseball fan, because now I guess the Dodgers are the front runner for Glasnow from the Rays. So it looks like they're going to be adding another ace to their staff. RIP to Tom Mazaway, the baseball fan.
I love you guys are strong out of the box today. Strong at putting people in the box, I guess.
Sorry, Maz. Your Yankees could only get a third guy who can hit 40 home runs a year, and they couldn't get Shohei.
Damn.
BMG.
All right, this one might be a little early, but I'm going to RIP the Miami Dolphins.
Wow.
They are still 9-4, but down the stretch, they have not beaten a good team all season. And to end, they play the Jets, who still have a great defense. Obviously, you got Zach Wilson, who played really well last week.
300-yard passing quarterback.
Yes.
Spenny would take him over Jared Goff for the Lions next week.
I would.
His words. But he hasn't given up on him. But he'll take Zach Wilson to be the quarterback.
Anyways,
I'm giving up on Jared Goff.
Anyways, they play the Cowboys after that, then the Ravens and the Bills.
Ooh.
And the Bills, they actually look pretty good against the Chiefs. Who knows? They might make a run at that division. But either way...
Well, they got to get in the playoffs first.
Yeah, but either way...
And go from there.
Either way, the Dolphins have not shown they can beat a playoff caliber team all season. So I'm RIPing the Dolphins after last night's choke job against the Titans.
Detroit Villains. Neal, here's a question. Do you think they can win with Hendon Hooker? Because look at all the young quarterbacks that are playing now and winning some games. No, the man's had 5 NFL practices in his life. Like this week? No, that's...
No, Jared Goff is still the best option for us to win this year.
Okay, there you go. I was waiting for the pause.
This year.
Pause.
All
right, my turn here. I've gone back and forth with this one. But for me, and I think you may go with this because you've heard me talk about it earlier this week. It should be rest in peace to whoever's Heisman ballot had J.J. McCarthy first. Whoever voted J.J. McCarthy as the, quote, best college football player in America, it should be rest in peace to your Heisman vote. Because we crunched the numbers. The triple option Army Black Knights quarterback has been better throwing the football than J.J. McCarthy has. But, Neal, that one touchdown he has the last half of the season, did you see how efficient it was? Okay, fine. It was the most efficient touchdown I've ever seen in my life. But for anybody to suggest that he is the, quote, best football player that plays college football in America is absurd. And your Heisman vote should be put 6 feet underground, whoever you are, because you guys hide behind the anonymous vote and they don't name you publicly like they do, which they should do for all these awards. If you want the smoke of going out and voting, then answer to it instead of hiding behind a ballot and say, "Oh, I wrote in J.J. McCarthy to win the Heisman Trophy." That's absurd. And I don't care who you are. Mike Gentry, you root for Army football. They just wear Michigan uniforms. But Mike Gentry, that's egregious, right? That's egregious.
No, we talked about that over the weekend. We don't know who it is, but first place vote for J.J. McCarthy should not have been there.
Can I do a RIP again that just came through?
Sure.
We got the second segment coming up.
This isn't going to be my RIP.
Oh, okay.
It's just RIP Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert out for the year, having surgery on his broken index finger.
Was he ever really in the year?
Yes, he was.
Was he?
Yes.
Did we RIP him once before already, too? Isn't he already dead?
Probably.
12 feet.
Damn it.
Like the Pistons. We'll join the Pistons down there.
Get that claw back out there and dig a little deeper. All right. RIP Part 2 coming up. Now, God, I love that sound. I do. Tell them about Swiss Insurance. Hey, if you got to pay for a funeral.
I know the number. Don't you worry, because I got football in the brain, college and professional sports. Awesome so far this year. Also, you need this time of year, time to shop your home and auto. Do it with Swiss Insurance. Shop it like a pro. They cover Woodward Sports. They should be covering you too. Call my buddy Mark. 248-800-4177, or get a hold of SwissINS.com. Tell them Big D Energy, we sent you.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy? It's Planet Fitness. Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Neal Ruhl here for Jack Labrador, born in a cold winter basement in Detroit, because you know winters in Detroit. 3 buddies, they wanted more out of a game of rock, paper, scissors, and they struck gold with Jack Labrador. With 2 new symbols and a 3-point play. Once you go Jack, you'll never go back. It's a deck of cards that's a spin on the old traditional rock, paper, scissors. You're begging for card games. You can't go outside for the next 4 months, everybody. Jack Labrador is the play. Go to jacklabrador.com. Scan that QR code on the screen. Some of you did yesterday after they jumped on board here with Woodward Sports. Give it a spin, everybody. The perfect stocking stuffer. You're looking for unique gifts? Jack Labrador. Give it a try. jacklabrador.com. That's right. Part 2, friends. Rest in peace. We go around the room. Who we putting in the coffin? D-Mac's Red Wings situation, the Dylan Larkin situation coming up in about 10 minutes from now. So make sure you stick around for that. Chad Brown will join us. What do you got, Spencer?
Can I go?
Conviction.
Yeah. I am taking the low-hanging fruit this time. R.I.P. to Jared Goff, the elite NFL quarterback. R.I.P. to Jared Goff.
Wait a minute.
$50 million deal. R.I.P.
No.
happening in Detroit. It's not going to happen. He's not signing a $50 million deal in Detroit. He is not an elite quarterback. He's Jared Goff. He's good. I'll give him that. He's a good quarterback. But when things don't go perfect around him, he turns into a little pissy boy. He turns into a little scaredy boy. If it's not 82 degrees and sunny, if the offensive line isn't playing a perfect game, if his wide receivers aren't perfectly on time in their spot, he can't do anything. RIP to the eliteness of Jared Goff.
Is this the same guy that RIP'd his Jared Goff hate?
And then I RIP'd my RIP.
You can't triple stamp a double stamp. You can't triple stamp a double stamp.
RIP.
All right, I'm up next.
Nicholas Duncan, RIP to my stomach after all those cutlets last night. Yeah. Tommy DeVito, man. Tommy Cutlets. Bring him home. I told you I'm on board for that one. Yeah. Just for the tailgate. I gotta go. Forget about it.
Come on.
You're going next, BMG?
Yes.
All right.
And it is Tommy Cutlets. Rest in peace to Daniel Jones. That is Tommy Cutlets' team now. The electric spread at the pregame. His agent, everything. The guy is electric. He's rattled off 3 wins in a row. Obviously, he struggled to start, but the guy's buzzing. He's got the coach behind him. It's fun to watch. Rest in peace, Daniel Jones. It's Tommy DeVito season.
He's got that city behind him, D-Mac. Like, it's insane. It's like Jeremy Lin, but with football.
It's exactly what it is. That's what it reminded me of. And Lynn's sanity for the Knicks back in the day. But we'll see. He's got 3 in a row. He keeps doing it. And he looks, the more that you see him play, the confidence. If you're watching highlights of him, the way, command in the pocket and some of the throws that he made and his mobility, I mean, he's getting it done. Shot out to him.
The only, I guess you would say, weak part of Gentry's argument is that little $47 million cap hit on Daniel Jones next year.
Who cares? It's Tommy season.
Tommy
Cutlets, man. Spenny, you're on board with this guy.
Yeah.
Just for the cutlets alone.
I'm a big Tommy Cutlets guy.
All right, D-Mac,
go ahead. He went to the Bing after the game.
I saw it in the chat, and I apologize because somebody's right on the same page as me. RIP the 3-goalie system for the Red Wings. This ain't working down the road to whatever else. If you want my opinion, I'd start Alex Lyon and let him carry the load. You're in the heart of the season, obviously now losing 3 games in a row. Your captain goes down. We'll talk about all that stuff. But I think by at least in the next week or by Christmas, you got to make a decision who is your guy. And to me, Alex Lyon's the one who's deserved it. So to me, Steve, this 3-headed goaltending mystery thing is unraveling at the seams.
I agree.
RIP the system.
And look,
hospice. We're on hospice. We're not buried, but you're in hospice. Got to make a choice.
And I was gonna wait till maybe the next time we convene to
Jeremy
opine
Anderson,
about that.
good job. Same page, bud.
Yeah. Because the next segment, we just want your reaction to Perron and that whole and the Dylan Larkin situation, which we will get to coming up in just a couple of minutes. I have a breaking news RIP. Ooh. I had one all lined up, but then I got this one that just came across the board. RIP to Al Michael calling the playoffs this year.
Oh, wow.
He has been left out of the playoff broadcast as NBC has announced their playoff broadcast teams. Al Michaels, who did the wild card game last year to call the famous Justin Herbert implosion that we've all come to know, expect, and love against the Jacksonville Jaguars, received criticism for his perceived lack of enthusiasm. This is per The Athletic, by the way. For his perceived lack of enthusiasm in what was the 3rd largest comeback playoff victory in playoff history. But NBC... And remember, too, Al Michaels and Pat Summeralls have called a record 11 Super Bowls each. No one has done more than those 2 guys. NBC will broadcast 3 playoff games in January. 2 of them will be handled by Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth. Noah Eagle and Todd Blackledge, who will handle the other NBC playoff games. So no Al Michaels in the playoff rotation for NBC this year. So rest in peace, Al Michaels. As far, not you literally, you're still with us, but you calling the playoffs this year, rest in peace. So, hey, he'll just have to lean back on that $11 million he made this year to call.
Is that what he makes?
$11 million a year, yep. To call, 16, 17 games, whatever it is.
Thursday nights? Is that what he does? Wow.
And he's not excited to do it, I guess. I don't know.
He's not. He hates being there.
Yes,
he does. It always feels like he hates being there.
People pleaser. Al don't give an F when he's on Prime. I wonder if do you think there's something to that? Like, because he's like old, because he's 79, and like this new, he's not comfortable with this new. You think there's something to that or not?
I don't know. I think he's just over it. I think he's just packing it in, mailing it in, ready to go.
Wyatt Bear, get Gus. Ha ha!
Bring him home.
Tommy Cutlets.
Oh, no.
Ha ha!
Oh, it would be electric.
That would be electric.
Yeah, 11 million.
Well, Levis, put mayo on it. Oh.
Todd saying Tirico's better now anyway. No, Tirico is better.
Tirico's a goat.
Well, not to some of the people in these parts anymore.
Mike Astor's Tirico.
Is he still a goat to the people? Are we past that now? We should be.
He does everything though. Basketball, football,
golf. Yeah.
Guys.
There's very few of us in the game, Spenny, that have that kind of versatility.
It's true.
There's very, very few of us. Mike Bell, he was mailing it in anyway. Al needs to retire.
Put Bill Belichick in there.
No one wants to hear that.
Belichick and Brady calling games.
Neal, real quick,
yes.
right? Like, because we're talking about. So you're the announcer here. Like
yes.
doing different games. Can you just like a little bit, behind the scenes, the difference, like as an announcer, as a play-by-play guy, whether you're doing basketball to soccer to football to hockey, what is the biggest difference when you're changing sports? Like other than you know the lineups, you have all your prep pieces
right.
the way that it's done, but the flow and everything.
You know what I've learned, D-Mac, on that, and my people in the announcer game are not going to like this. There's not a huge difference.
Okay.
Sports is geometry. If you're on offense, the middle is good, and the outside is bad. If you're on defense, the outside is good, and keeping the team. If the team's in the middle, that's bad. All sports are unilateral. Sports are like Instagram. It's about the angles that are available to you. When you're out on the wing, there's but one or two angles.
Right.
When you're in the middle, there's tons of angles. That's the unilateral truth in sports. Geometry's undefeated. And it's not, I don't think it's difficult. Now, maybe I'm understating it because I do it and I've done it for a long time. It is that easy, D-Mac. I mean, hockey. When you're defending in hockey,
where is there a difference between a football game where it's sort of play to play? You know what I mean? Here comes a play, boom, smash, crash. Then there's the minute between the plays and stuff where hockey's like go, or soccer's.
Yeah, hockey's a little more challenging because they change on the fly.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
So that would be. In hockey, it's picking up the changes and realizing and having the numbers off by heart. Where soccer, they don't switch unless, manually substitute or something like that.
Yeah, it's funny because people say, well, how hard is soccer to do? Low-key, soccer is one of the easiest ones because the players don't change. And they're generally in the same spot. The coaches will make adjustments to formations and stuff like that. But soccer is actually very easy. And it moves enough at the highest level.
Right.
It moves fast enough to where you can weave.
So would you say soccer would be, you consider probably the easiest and hockey the hardest? Or
football's the easiest.
Football's even with all those numbers.
Because when you think about it, D-Mac, how many names do I really say? The quarterback, the running back,
the receiver,
occasionally the receivers.
Guy who makes a play on defense.
The linebackers who make all the tackles. The defensive lineman or the edge who gets a sack.
The kicker misses it.
The kickers kick the ball. The punter punts the ball. The return men are back to deep. And the coaches, the head coaches. That's it. Like, it's not... You have these massive spot boards because you have to be ready for everything.
Right.
But in the end, you're only calling 10 people's names. It's not different than basketball. And here's another dirty secret. Like, announcers, too, they make this big deal about talking to the coaches and getting to talk to. That's like being self-important. I don't need any of that stuff, man.
Right.
I know what the stakes are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And especially if I'm with a team all the time, I know how that coach is. I know what he's thinking. That's just them being vain,
Yeah, there's a different there's a great way to delve yourself into the culture without it being about you.
Right.
And when I think about that, I think about look at the way Ken Cal does it. Radio. You're Ernie Harwell. same way. Everybody knew Ernie, but it was about his description of the game. Dude, speaking of that, baseball. Is baseball because
baseball's tough.
Baseball's hard because you got to fill so much time.
So much downtime.
So that's where
I haven't called it with a pitch clock though. Like I called Division I baseball. I
that's
called
gotta
minor
be
league
easier
baseball.
then, right? With the pitch clock,
I would imagine. And I have heard
something to ask Double D.
Yeah, and I have heard like Dan Dickerson, and you only know if you know, like if you're in that world, you would ever catch this. So like with all the sponsorship reads and everything, like it's controlled chaos when you're calling a game. And I've heard Dan. It's a lot. I would love to have a beer with them and talk shop about it and say they're squeezing you right now, aren't they? Because I can hear them like trying to keep up, man. It is. It's hard.
Well, that's the whole thing is you don't understand too. Is that earpiece? Is that so? The earpiece like we wear here so that we can hear all the commercials and hear each other and stuff like this. But when you're doing TV or whatever,
people are talking to me while I'm talking.
You're getting talked to, so you got a constant voice in your ear to whatever else as you got.
And I have to listen to what they're saying, but I have to continue talking.
It's a sick skill, bro.
It's literally like an NFL quarterback. It is for real.
Seriously, that's exactly that would be the closest, I guess. Similarity, right?
And I'm doing the reads
like this.
They're calling the audibles, and I got to execute the audibles.
Except
it's
that they
wild.
can talk right through. There's no 15-second shut off.
Yeah, absolutely. Wintertime in Detroit's always better with comfort foods from Big Boy. Tommy Cutlets would tell you, try the veal parmesan. Or the Spencer would tell you to try the Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl. How about breakfast? The stuffed potato pancakes are back. The classic, the lumberjack, the Santa Fe Garden. Also, the new apple pie hotcakes. No way they don't slap. And top it all off with the new gingerbread shake for dessert like D-Mac would. Stop by your local Big Boy today for down-home comfort foods.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
We've just received word. The world's cannabis supply has vanished. The public is outraged and has taken to the streets in response to this tragedy. The individual responsible acted alone, and we can only hope they will make things right soon.
How would you like to win a 100K Vegas getaway? Take your closest friends and live it up in the city that never sleeps. It's the Cintron Energy. Drink it and live it. Purchase 24-pack today and enter to win the 100K Vegas getaway at drinkcintron.com/Vegas and buy Cintron at your local Meijer store. Cintron, the healthier energy drink with great taste. Look good, feel great, and be the best version of yourself with Cintron. Go to drinkcintron.com/Vegas to figure out how you can sign up to win.
All right, back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. I know a lot of you have been waiting for this segment, and we all saw what happened to Dylan Larkin by the stick of Matthew Joseph on Saturday night. The reaction to that, David Perron, it was announced, has been suspended 6 games. Who, by all rights, I'll call it a very vicious hit to the head as well. But D-Mac, again, this is, the people have asked about it. You haven't talked about it much on social media. This is your platform. This is where you live. And I'm fascinated to hear this. But your statement on that whole situation with Matthew Joseph, Dylan Larkin, David Perron et al.
Well, if anybody saw the tweet that I put out, I put a tier and I put out NHL. And the whole thing is that, the old guy, get off my grass, whatever like this. The problem that I have, and we'll start with the Perron. Yeah, no, I'm with his history, and I can't condone that. Hitting a guy with the stick like that, especially when it wasn't the guy that got Larkin to begin with. I love the fact that you're making stuff happen, sticking up for your teammate. You're gonna, unfortunately, he's gonna miss 6, games of pay and stuff like that, and
that's what I don't like.
Lost in the lineup, and you know what? Like that is what it is. But the whole thing with the Joseph on Larkin hit, to me, it's the fact that guys are comfortable enough taking shots and having your stick that high in that sort of, and you could say it was an accident or this, but you watch go look at Joseph's interview. There's not a remorse there. It's sort of like, things happen and, didn't mean for it to happen and stuff like this. But no, the fact that you were comfortable enough holding your stick up there. I was talking to you beforehand, and I played with some of the toughest guys and against some of the toughest guys to ever play this game. Standing out front of the net back in my day was war. Thomas Holmstrom had equipment on the back side of his body to protect him from getting hit in behind. But no matter if you were in front of the net with a Chris Pronger, Scott Stevens, no matter who it was, you would get worked over. From your shoulder pads down. You might get slashed in the back of the legs, you might get cross-checked, but it would never be to the head. And the fact that guys are comfortable, right, taking shots or taking liberties with the sticks coming up, hence we haven't even talked about what, this goes back to the carelessness of a guy who just took a skate in the throat over in Britain, and another guy thinks it's all right to have his skate that high. Right? So back in my day, Neal, right, you'd fight, you get an altercation, there'd be bad blood. Guys would maybe lose a tooth, break a nose, get stitches, right, and come right back. You would see that physical. Now what we're dealing with is more of the CTE, more of the concussions, more of the invisible problem, right? Somebody asked earlier, what's the diagnosis of Dylan Larkin? And I said, well, I thought that it was said that he didn't have a concussion and he was, everything was negative, but yet there's no timetable for his return. So that means that everything's not A-okay. It's just unfortunate, and I hang my head. And the only other thing is the hardest part in the self-discipline is that, like, if I look back and go, what would have happened if that was Yzerman? Whether you meant it or not, back in the day. You think we're worried about those 2 points?
No.
Or wait until the game was out of hand and then doing something? I ain't worried about this. So it's bigger than that, and it also goes to that's the culture of the game now. So my reaction is I'm not surprised. Because it's Batman hockey in the way that the NHL's gone. So it's the fact, my thing is the fact that it's okay for a guy to think it's okay to get his hands up. Because that would never happen back in the day. A stick up like this. If you're going to hit somebody in the head, it was with your fist.
Is it that simple, D-Mac? Because I know because I've talked to you and we're friends, obviously. I know with the frustration, and I know where it lies, right? And you said it without saying it. You kind of said it a little bit. And it's not old guy yelling at clouds. It's not, or get off my lawn guy. It's not that. What the game has evolved to has allowed for this to happen now. And when I say what it's evolved to is when you take and I don't want to call it fighting because that's not the word. You're not saying fighting. Accountability. Is that a fair word to say?
And that's the accountability. And I see all in capitals, ski mask or whatever. Wait, they were calling for the trainer. And I love the thing that I love the most out of it is Brady Tkachuk, who's one of our most hated guys or whatever, was the first one to go to his bench because he knew something's wrong. That's above the game, right? We're talking two different things. So even to push what's acceptable to the lines, but the lines of the game is it's going to happen, and you have to. I don't care what it is. You have to show back in the confines of the game that this can't happen. So the fact that, okay, so you disagree, so he hurt a guy, but he did absolutely cross-check him in the side of the head, whether he meant it or not. And that can't happen. I'm sorry, I shot you. You know, it was an accident, but you still shot. What were you pointing the gun at me for? You know, unfortunate situation. I'm glad that the humanitarians and the hockey players superseded it, which goes to show you the brotherhood. But it's just the fact that inside the rules that this can go on. That's all I'm saying. Because it needs to be addressed.
All right. Last one on it before we get to the break. How does it get addressed in your world right now? Well, I shouldn't ask your world because your world is not the world we're in today.
See,
in your best guess.
See, now it's going to linger. Now everybody's going to think, oh, it's got to be done. It's got to be done. Then you're going to, what? So you have to worry about that and getting revenge and all. No, you take care of it then it's done. And then you move on to the next game in Dallas, the next game in St. Louis. Instead of worrying about the game in St. Louis, everybody's talking about the game New Year's Eve against Ottawa. Yeah. So it's different because, you know, if it was my day, you could sure as heck put something out to say, I'll see you at center ice, open and draw, you know, New Year's Eve. Let's do it. Yeah. Right? And it's done. So the fact that it lingers and the fact that it's okay for somebody to take that sort of exception, whether it was intentional or not. Part of the game, but part of the game is also not allowing that to happen, especially to your captain. I'm just saying, like, what if that... Do you know what would have happened if Kobe's on the bench?
Would there have been a riot, D-Mac? Like an on-ice riot?
It would have been like Buffalo. There's a highlight video of 5-on-5 where Stevie ended up having to fight Buffalo's tough guy back in the day, Kevin McGuire. Proby got loose and came sliding on his knees, friggin' sucker punched him, whatever. Like, it would have been an absolute shit show. Right? On the ice, whatever like this, figure it out later. Back in my day, probably end up with like 3 or 4 guys on the bench. But it's a different game. And that's okay, but I just wish that there was more, you know, it's the respect for each other.
All right, when we come back, we're going to be joined by Chad Brown. He's out there in Denver, covers the Broncos for Network News in Denver. Of course, a multi-time All-Pro. He's on the ballot for the Hall of Fame this year as well. We've had him on here before, so when we come back, we will talk to Chad Brown, get his thoughts on Broncos, Lions, and that matchup. See if the sky is falling about the Lions according to people in Denver. Tell them about Guardian Alarm.
Absolutely. Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts, professional technicians, take time to recommend security automation solutions specific to your needs, but I need you to call Guardian Alarm today. The number 1-800.
Stay out.
24/7 professional monitoring. Call anytime, day or night. Know the Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as it's needed. If you call the number 1-800.
Stay out.
Technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserve technology that's been proven to work, and people have been proven to care. Business, personal. Guardian doesn't care. They just want you to call the number 1-800.
Stay out.
Stay out of the streets of Royal Oak, Joseph.
Stay out of being cheap, Tigers ownership.
Guardian Alarm, local security experts, tell them Big D Energy we sent you.
Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. So register today at OutdoorEquipCo.com, and even you could have DMAC on your landscaping crew.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. This is exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick at GMC, the same great service that customers have come to know and to trust on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today. Find the brand you want, lesstanford.com.
All right, keeping it pushing, everybody. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal, Ruhl, and D-Mac, Darren McCarty, and Spencer Raxter in the billowy hands of Big Mike Gentry. Speaking of that, he's putting those hands to work right now. And as promised here on Big D Energy on Woodward Sports Network, we are joined by Chad Brown, a 15-year NFL veteran, 3-time Pro Bowler, and a 2-time All-Pro, and he's also in the Pro Football Hall of Fame's class of 2023 nomination and part of the Colorado Buffaloes' first and only national championship back in 1990. He analyzed the Broncos for TV9 News in Denver. Has also been around SiriusXM, ESPN Radio, etc., and really one of the best to do it at his position, and a big D Energy guy as well. Chad Brown. Chad, appreciate you taking some time. How are you, my friend?
I am fantastic. How you guys doing?
We're good, man. We're hyped for this game on Saturday night, and that's really the what we're drilling down to on this. So Chad, we do have to ask you this. You're out there in Denver country. You guys are, the Broncos are hot right now. They're one of those stories. I'll put this out there right now, Chad. There's a little bit of panic here in Detroit. They lost a game, so there's some panic right now. And D-Mac, I know you wanted to bring this up too. How is Denver viewing the Detroit Lions right now? Do they see a team that's vulnerable right now?
I think the Bronco fans see a team that's vulnerable. After being one of the hottest teams in the league to start the season in Detroit, obviously when you lost 2 of the last 3, it takes a little bit of the shine off. A lot of folks had a chance to watch that Thanksgiving, game with a loss, and so the perception amongst Bronco fans is that the Broncos are hot, the Lions are not, and the Broncos have a chance to finish the season and not losing these last 4 games with the Raiders, the Chargers, the Patriots, and Detroit. That's how Bronco fans are looking at it. I'm sure within the walls over there at the Broncos facility, Sean Payton is showing all kind of Detroit Lion clips and how dangerous this team is. Don't pay attention to this loss to the Packers and loss to the Bears. They're far better than that. I'm sure that's what he's selling to his football team.
Chad Brown joining us here, Big D Energy. Chad, I wanted to ask you because I am not a Russell Wilson believer, but I got to call it the way that I see it, and the fact that there seems to be some sort of spark or some sort of magic between Sean Payton and Russell Wilson, at least offensively, at least more so in the first half of these seasons. What has it been like, watching these guys throughout the year? And we talked to you earlier on, I guess the Denver Broncos weren't, maybe as positive, maybe for their fan base as they are now, but looking at it from the Detroit point of view, you got an offense that's coming in here that's clicking.
You use the word magic and clicking. I would say that's maybe a step too far. This Broncos offense has benefited greatly from this Broncos defense. I think 18 turnovers in the last 6 games. When you have those kind of numbers, when the defense is giving you the ball with short fields and scoring opportunities already in hand, when you walk on the field, it can inflate the numbers and the stats and tell a picture that's not really true. In this winning streak, Russell Wilson has passed for 134 yards, 114 yards. Those aren't exactly magical numbers. What's happening is Sean Payton is keeping Russell Wilson pretty tightly constrained outside of maybe a drive to finish the first half and maybe a drive to finish a ball game. So they're really trying to limit Russell Wilson in some ways and not expose him to too much. And for the Broncos, who have been, had a win streak going, to lose, not last week to the Chargers, they got the win last week against the Chargers, but 2 weeks ago against the Texans, to lose against the Texans, they let Russell Wilson out of the box a bit too much, asked too much of him, and they were down the field interceptions, multiple down the field interceptions. So I think Sean Payton recognizes that I've got a guy who can execute in critical situations but I can't ask him to execute all the time, all game long.
Chad Brown, our guest here, two-time All-Pro, won a national championship in college as well with Colorado. You guys know who he is, the Steelers, the Seahawks as well, 15-year NFL veteran. So, Chad, here's the one I have for you, and I'm asking you to help out Detroit fans right now because I've been in here in the streets slugging it out all week, and you've seen this. You've seen this with Denver. I'm sure you've had moments in your career where this has happened to you as well. We painted the picture, right? Denver coming off a game, they give up 70 points to the Dolphins, and it's over. Shoveling dirt on the grave for the season, all of it. It's all over. Fast forward, as you talked about, 18 takeaways and some crazy turnover numbers by this defense. That happens in the NFL season, does it not, Chad? I'm sure you've been through this before, where you're at the top of the mountain one week, you're 6 feet under the next week, you battle back the couple weeks following. Just paint that picture for everybody of how this league is, and taking that one step further, Chad, this league in December, I've noticed, is even different. It's even more different than the rest of the season.
Yeah, there's definitely ebbs and flows of every football season. To try to maintain the razor's edge of sharpness all season long is virtually an impossible task. I was on that Patriots team in 2007 where our season was perfect until it wasn't against the Giants in the Super Bowl. So would we have benefited from a loss and a way to kind of release the pressure and refocus maybe late in the regular season? Probably so, and then we would have won that Super Bowl. But the quest for perfection is so difficult, we stumbled in the Super Bowl. So for this Detroit Lions team or any NFL team this season, heck, look at what's happened to the Kansas City Chiefs the last 2 weeks. You can be a very good, a very talented team, but for whatever reason, you show up and things aren't clicking maybe that week or for a couple of weeks in a row. It doesn't mean you suck. It doesn't mean you're awful. It means you got to find a way to get back on track. It means you got to find a way to regain your confidence. But let's not forget, the other teams got players who make tens of millions of dollars too. They've got coaches who spend, from 5 a.m. until midnight burning the oil at the office, trying to come up with creative game plans too. So it's such a competitive league. The league is structured around trying to make parity so every team has an equal shot at things, that it's impossible, I think, to just run away with things as teams maybe once did in the past. Outside of a couple of teams in the NFC, it's a pretty clouded playoff picture on both sides of the league, both in the AFC and the NFC, because of this parity that the league has designed in, and because of how difficult it is to rise up to a high level week in and week out.
So you're telling me, Chad Brown, that this is a tough league to win a game in, right? I mean, it's just every week to go about it. But I would be remiss to not have one of the best linebackers that I've watched play the game ask about our linebacking core here. Our bend but don't break defense, and a guy like Alex Anzalone, who's the veteran there. We got Derek Barnes, but like a Jack Campbell. Do you see this linebacking crew being able to be, something? Does Denver have to, and Russell Wilson, Sean Payton, have to be wary of this linebacker crew? Are they better than what we think they are here in Detroit?
It's a pretty good crew. They're all active. They certainly are productive. I called a few of Jack Campbell's games when he was at Iowa. Very productive then, very productive now. And I think when you are a team that is fashioned around a head coach like Dan Campbell, physical, hard-nosed kind of football, then you need your linebackers to play to that level. It's hard to be perceived as a tough football team if you got a bunch of soft dudes playing linebacker. So Campbell, Anzalone, and Barnes, I think, fit that tough guy description and are very productive players. Is there an all-pro in the group? Probably not right now, but you don't need to be. When you got guys like Aiden Hutchinson up front occupying blockers, and these guys can run and be productive as they have been.
All right, Chad, break it down for us, man. How do you see this game shaking out? The Denver Broncos coming in hot. They're right on the heels of the Kansas City Chiefs. A lot has changed since the last time you and I talked. How do you see it playing out this weekend?
Well, the Broncos certainly have a lot to play for. There's no doubt about that. But I see the Lions also having a lot to play for. I think the Lions are a better team overall. Are they as hot as the Broncos? Are they playing with the same confidence that the Broncos are playing with? No. No, but the Lions are a better team. And I think for the Broncos, sometimes when you are a team that's new to winning, sometimes you can read your headlines and start, patting yourself on the back and feeling a bit too good about yourself. So I think with the Broncos stretch run, this is the game. Again, they play the Raiders, the Patriots, and the Chargers again. This is the game where they could most likely stub their toe against a quality team that's got some deep playoff aspirations. So as much as I think the Broncos are the hotter team, the Lions are the better team. They use out to squeak out a close victory. Let's call it 24-21 Lions.
All right, well, there it is. Chad Brown said it was so. Guy's on the Hall of Fame ballot this year, so I think he knows a thing or two. And real quick, Chad, before we do let you go, one of the chat thread members here says, I was a Steelers fan when Chad Brown was drafted. I remember him getting traded, and it was a disappointing day for him. So you still got the juice, Chad, with the football fans around the nation.
The Steelers fans certainly seem to miss me the most. I wish I could have stayed there, but salary cap implications and things like that, you got to move on. And I took some of that Paul Alimony in Seattle, but my heart of hearts, I'm always going to be a Steeler linebacker.
Hey, Chad, I can't get mad at you. Get the bag, buddy. Get the bag. No, we appreciate you stopping in, Chad, as always, man. And we'll catch up with you again soon. All right.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
All right, that was Chad Brown on the Hall of Fame ballot this year. 15-year NFL career, multi-time All-Pro. We forget about how good Chad Brown was. Big thanks to Annie H. Hoffman, too, for setting that up. And he's calling for the Lions. They're a better football team.
Hey, anybody? We're just going to gloss over the fact that he said that Denver's defense has made 18 turnovers in the last 6 games. And what are all our losing games, losing the turnover battle? I mean,
it's a complicated.
Yikes.
NFL.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's a complicated game, but it's pretty simple sometimes too. So that is out there.
And
as
you
well.
did hear Chad Brown say it's a tough league to win in, right? Technically, he didn't
no,
say
it's
it,
not.
but
It's not. It's not.
No,
hard.
it isn't.
It's not hard, especially in December. It's not hard.
Well, you know what else ain't hard? If you want to go see Santa, I got a place where you can go. You can experience Dispo Romeo, a team that curates an exclusive atmosphere mixed with fresh inventory from Michigan's largest variety of products. The first ever cannabis mall of its kind is conveniently located off of Van Dyke Mile and 32 Mile Road in Romeo. Join them in celebrating this Christmas season. Hang out with Santa. Yes. Kris Kringle St. Nick will be at Dispo Romeo every Friday and Saturday up until Christmas, so don't miss out. Remember, open till midnight every day except for Sunday. Dispo Dispensary, DispoShops.com, your local cannabis plug.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
We've just received word. The world's cannabis supply has vanished. The public is outraged and has taken to the streets in response to this tragedy. The individual responsible acted alone, and we can only hope they will make things right soon.
Join Woodward Sports and Spenny's new favorite long drink.
He crushes them.
Live Saturday night, this Saturday. Flex game. 8:45 Fish Lions Tailgate, Eastern Market Shed. 5 going to be a bash. Probably 5:30, 6 o'clock. You want to get there. Fish Lions Tailgate back better than ever. You can pregame and be a VIP just like Woodward Sports. Food, beverages, entertainment, all included. Get your tickets online today. BullseyeEventGroup.com or win some from Woodward Sports today. Just subscribe to our YouTube. Follow us on Instagram and direct message Lions VIP.
Final segment of the show. Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Big Mike Gentry, Spencer Raxter, and again, big thank you to Chad Brown and Annie H. Hoffman for setting all that up. Chad Brown believes in the Lions, but the fans still don't. Nicholas Duncan, loss, maybe W. Okay. Shad says, should we gatekeep the Lions fans who are scared to think about winning and expect to lose? Yes. Yes, we should. That's what we do. Right? Do we not? Do we not? No? We don't?
No.
No?
All opinions are accepted.
Are they, Spenny?
They are.
Okay.
Unless you say Jared Goff deserves $50 million, then you're just an idiot.
All right. Flint Town CJ, opponent scoring 28 a game should be a win. LOL. Mike G, Big Maz Gentry. We forgot about Big Maz Gentry. What's it feel like being back in the booth?
Peace.
I actually kind of like chilling on the couch for a little bit, being Maz for a couple days.
Just having billowy hands?
Had to kind of get his reps in, and he did solid. But
he did a great job.
It feels good to be back.
Shout out new guy Kenny.
Yeah,
new guy
Kenny's solid.
Is he ready for his call up to the show now?
Is that where he's going though?
No,
is that
he's
confirmed?
doing a morning show. I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
With the franchise?
With the franchise. Yeah, because I think JB's going to TD it, and then Gentry or new guy Kenny will be in sound because Lucas is doing bath salts in Florida.
Wow. That's on brand. What? It is on brand. Real quick before we do cut out of here, D-Mac, I know you did the read for Dispo, and again, I wanted to shout them out again. Going through the stuff with my mother-in-law, they supported, they were there, they offered their expertise and everything, and the compassion, as you said, D-Mac, was pretty smooth. So I owe a big thank you to Dispo. They went above and beyond, and their care and everything was incredible. So big thank you to you guys. I'm a Dispo guy for life.
Dispo's good people.
Good people, man. Real.
And that's where it's at.
Sponsorship stuff aside,
forget
man.
that. The fact that you want compassion, you want questions answered, it's okay. Go in there and ask questions. It shows you whichever one of their... It doesn't have to be the one in Romeo. It can be in Hazel Park. It can be all around. Go in there and know that Dispo people, they care.
Yes, absolutely. So I will be out tomorrow and Thursday, but I'll be back in here on Friday. I will need your picks, though. I will still coordinate the picks.
Are we doing a top 10 list tomorrow? Top 5?
Top 5 list tomorrow.
Who's in for Neal? Pick?
Probably
Let's
State.
find out.
Yeah.
We'll do top 5. What's the top 5 list tomorrow?
Should we let the chat choose?
Yeah, well, hey, give us a top 5 list in the chat real quick before we... It's got to be...
Then Spenny will convene, and Gentry can convene, and they can decide, and we'll let you know later what it will be.
You got 3 minutes. Get it in.
So get it in there. No, it will not be top 5 bath salts. No, we won't be doing that, so just stop. But yeah, I'm curious to see where the people want to go. Mike G, top 5 days of the week. Boom, that's a winner. We already did that, didn't we?
Did it.
That is a winner. I knew that was a good. I knew that was a good list of people, or a good topic.
Top 5 role players in Detroit.
That's kind of too sportsy.
That is too sportsy. Top 5 spoons.
Soup spoon. Slotted
top
spoon.
5 cereals.
Top 5 cereals.
Yeah, I like cereals.
All right, there you go.
I
Yeah.
think spoons is so
Top 5 strippers. Cinnamon, number 1.
Top 5 spoons would be so
Like
fucking
actual
funny.
strippers or just stripper names?
Hold on.
That stripper Rachel that I fell in love with at the Coliseum, the white girl with the big old booty when I was eating a lamb chop with one hand. Oh man, she's number 1 for sure. She was hot.
Top 5. Are there 5 spoons? I feel like there are.
There are 5 spoons.
I don't even know 5 spoons.
Spork. You could throw spork in there.
The Taco Bell spork,
Yeah.
the soup spoon,
Slotted
the
spoon,
slotted spoon,
teaspoon,
the cooking spoon, the wooden spoon
yeah.
that your grandma would
Wooden
hit you
spoon,
with.
Yeah. My grandma broke a wooden spoon on my mom's neck one time.
See? Top 5 spoons. Why is that calling
I don't know,
me?
but that would be so funny.
There it is.
Top 5
Top 5 spoons, D-Mac. The large, the teaspoon, the tablespoon.
Yeah. Or do you want to
There's
do
only
cereal?
one spoon. It's a spork.
We'll do cereal. We'll do cereal this week since you're not going to
Okay.
be here. We'll do top 5 spoons.
In my triumphant return. Okay. Top 5 cereals. We'll keep it kind of easy, more debatable.
Yeah.
But make no mistake.
No, top 5 spoons.
Next week,
Yeah.
we are doing top 5 spoons.
Yes.
Top 5 spoons. Since people are out here, Mike G, top 5 white person sayings. Sir James, top 5 Jeff Iafrate haircuts.
Ooh. Well, there's only like 2.
Top 5 annoying fan bases. And why is Michigan representing all number 5? I do like Wilson's top 5 Woodward sports host.
That's a good one.
I do like that one. We're doing spoons next week.
But we're doing spoons next week for sure, dude. That's great.
100%. All right, we got to do Christmas. We got to do top
Christmas
5
one, yeah.
Christmas items.
Okay.
The week of Christmas.
Like fruitcake, mistletoe.
Yeah.
Eggnog.
Eggnog, yeah, 100%.
Okay. Right.
Bourbon. Why is bourbon number 1? Because it's always number 1.
That's fair.
For me.
So you drink eggnog?
All right, everybody.
I've never had eggnog before.
We're out of here. D-Mac will be back with y'all tomorrow. I'll see you on Friday. For D-Mac, Mike Gentry, Spencer Raxer, my name is Neal Ruhl. Thanks for tapping in. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Well, see you later.